Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to tonight's episode of the RDU Buzz, where we talk about all kinds of developments and news happening here in the Raleigh-Durham area. Thank you all for joining in live. And for those of you coming in and catching the replay, we'd love to know where you're watching from. So be sure to throw in the comments where you are coming in from tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. We appreciate y'all tuning in. Those of you who watch this regularly know that, and we've got Next Level joining in from Raleigh. So welcome, Next Level. Know that we are Duke fans, and there are some NC State fans who watch this. I just know that through the comments. So I just want to say congratulations to the NC State fans. They knocked us out of the Elite Eight. So
it's very unfortunate, but we are rooting for you for the rest of the road now.
But you know, I would rather. I can pull for NC State. I can't pull
if
for
it was Carolina, it'd be absolutely
I can pull for NC State, but not for Carolina. So, and I think NC State is, I mean, they're America's team now. So
that's what I think. That's what some people say.
Yeah, I mean, I think most of the country's legitimately pulling for NC State to win this thing, and they should. So
it's the the classic underdog story.
Yeah, Next Level said, "Go State." Yeah, I'm Team Wolfpack right now. Yeah. So, but anyway, hope y'all have had a good week so far. We got some fun topics tonight. We're going to do a little bit of real estate towards the end of it. We're going to start with some pretty fun topics as far as just entertainment that's coming into the area. We're going to kick it off with Topgolf. So Topgolf, I know we've mentioned Topgolf in the past. Topgolf has been building their facility for years here in Durham.
It's been like the longest time,
right? Yeah. Pre-pandemic?
I don't know if it was pre-pandemic, but it was definitely at least coming off the ground
It's been a long time.
in the pandemic years. And so it's been just like so slow moving. I feel I don't know if the pandemic slowed things down or why it's taken this long, but it is finally ready to open.
Yeah, it opens April 12th.
That's
this coming Friday.
Yeah, this Friday. Yeah. So if you want something fun to do this weekend, head over to Topgolf.
Yeah, and that's not this weekend.
Oh yeah, sorry, next weekend.
Excuse
me. You said this Friday.
And so it's a bummer. So we're throwing a client appreciation event for our past clients. And we'll be doing it next weekend. And
at the competitor.
Yeah, at the competitor. We tried to
get
we tried to get Topgolf, but they wouldn't ever give us a hard opening date. So we went with Drive Shack. Drive Shack's perfectly fine. Drive Shack's fine.
I think their opening weekend would have been a terrible time to try to throw an event too, because it would have been like they're still like figuring everything out. So and we really like the Drive Shack anyway. So it's no offense to the Drive Shack. It was just kind of like, Topgolf will be kind of new, but they never got back with us until like a week ago, and it was too late. So maybe next year.
But I think stuff like this and the next topic we're going to talk about is also going in the exact same area as Topgolf. But these are things this area needs. We don't have professional sports here. Like there's just not the entertainment setup that you have in some of these larger cities. Like Charlotte already has 2 of these.
Yeah, that's kind of bizarre to have 2 in the same city. But
I mean, Charlotte's a bigger area.
Yeah, but I guess you would think they would have maybe Topgolf and then like Drive Shack or like a competitor or something. So it's odd to have like 2 of the same. But I guess we have like 700 McDonald's. So
as if there's a comparison between McDonald's and Topgolf, but
it's the same.
Yeah. But I think like this area, it needs more of this stuff. When we don't have professional sports, when you're not, I mean, I know in a lot of our videos, we talk about how you're near the beach or you're in the mountains, and you are, but it's still a long drive. So it's not like, living in Miami where you can just, be in the beach in a very, I mean, I don't know. I'm sure Miami's traffic's horrible, but you get my point. Like if you're in Miami, you live at the beach. This area's not like that. So we need these entertainment venues. We need more of them. And I feel like since we've started doing this podcast, there's a lot that's coming.
Yeah,
there's
a
whole
lot of
lot
new things
that's
are
coming
coming
to this area
for sure. So this will be exciting to get Topgolf here. And if you've been to Topgolf in another state or in Charlotte or something, you can, and you've been to Drive Shack here, you'll have to, I haven't been to both. So you have to let us know in the comments, kind of the differences
let
and
us
which
know
one you
your
think is
favorite.
better.
I prefer Topgolf, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I've only been to Drive Shack and I've only been
Yeah.
once. So, and I really like Drive Shack. So I don't have anything to compare it to besides like actual golf course, you know? So I'm excited to check out Top Golf hopefully this spring or summer and kind of compare it and see which one I like better.
Yeah. So right beside Top Golf. So this is going right off of Page Road in Durham. So this is going to be on the Durham side of the triangle.
Just kind of close to like Briar Creek and the airport.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's almost Raleigh, but it's still Durham.
Yeah, exactly. There is another entertainment venue coming in, one of those indoor go-karting areas.
This will be really interesting.
Andretti.
Yeah. This will be really fun.
This is going to be really cool.
I think
it's literally going to be right beside Top Golf. So it's going to be like this
really
own little entertainment venue down in Durham.
Yeah. So you can like hop from one to the other, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it looks like it's also maybe going to have a bowling alley inside, 8 bowling lanes. Which is pretty cool. So they'll have kids go-karts, adult golf carts,
and laser
go-karts.
I used to love laser tag as a kid.
I love laser tag. Like, I love it.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. It says gaming space. I'm assuming that means arcade. Is that the way we call it, arcade now?
Yeah,
for
I think
young
so.
Folk?
And then for the go-karts, it's gonna be the really fast, or the faster go-karts. So it's gonna be, it says 20 miles per hour for juniors and 35 miles per hour for adults. I feel like some of these go-kart places are getting up to closer. Aren't there places to go faster than that?
I don't know. I've never been to one. I've only done like the classic outdoor. I've never done the indoor stuff. So this will be really fun. I think it'll be fun for adults. It'll be fun for maybe not little kids, but elementary age.
Yeah,
kids
I mean you couldn't take a little kid.
Yeah,
there wouldn't be anything to do.
Yeah, not for them. But this is going to be really cool, and I like that it's going to be kind of right there next to it. So that's exciting.
It is, yeah. I'll show. I'm going to share this map, or not the map, but what is a map? It's just the screen. I don't know if y'all can see it, but it's going to be right in this general area here, and to kind of orient you to the area. This is the airport, so it's like Cindy said. It's a very central look. Like it's like the southern side of Durham, close to the airport. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be really neat to have Top Golf there, and this go-kart place.
Yeah, Andretti. So that'll be really cool. Now I'm not sure if it has an official opening date.
It said
it
said spring of 2025. So
okay.
Yeah, so that'll
it's not gonna be
till
till next year. But this will still be really fun. So it's exciting to see more stuff come. I feel like especially because back when we were kids, entertainment was like going to the movies. And I feel like movie theaters are just kind of like a dying out thing. Like there's still a few of them, but it's just not something people do every weekend just because of streaming. And it's so cheap to just rent it at home later, and everything goes straight to streaming so fast. So this will be like a fun weekend thing to be able to do. And as an adult or even as like a high schooler and stuff.
Yeah, so no, as the kids get older, I look forward to being able to take them there. And continuing this entertainment topic in Cary, they're going to be opening up a pub that's going to have golf simulators, cocktails, and gourmet hot dogs. I didn't know gourmet hot dogs was a thing.
Yeah, I guess those aren't the pink ones.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what a gourmet hot dog is.
Cool.
But
yeah, and this one's we have a lot of strange names for things tonight. So this is gonna be the Albatross.
Yeah, the Albatross.
So it just sounds very intimidating.
Yeah, so it's gonna be I mean this is gonna be a big space. And they're gonna have a couple golf simulators. They're gonna have let me see, I'm trying to scroll down here to see what else. Yeah, gourmet. I don't know what a gourmet hot dog is.
It's like a bar and hot dogs. Yeah, I guess a gourmet hot dog is just like a hot dog with toppings, because they have those. I guess
so.
Because I feel like if you go to Crumble, they'll call themselves like a gourmet cookie, or it's like unique flavors probably. So it'd probably be like a hipster twist on hot dog. So instead of just like mustard and mayonnaise and slaw or chili or something,
and they'll also
have unique flavors.
Miniature golf in there as well for kids.
I love that. Putt.
Yeah. But this is going to be in Cary. So whereas the other two we were talking about are going to be in Durham, this one will be in Cary, right off Chatham Street.
That's
So
awesome.
this is actually really close. I mean, this is practically downtown. This is downtown Cary. So you got downtown Cary Park. It's going to be right there in that area.
That's really cool.
So
it's gonna be fun.
Yeah. So some really cool like entertainment venues coming into the area that I think, will make it, because this is coming soon. This is going to open, I believe, in August. Yes, I mean, you think it's April, it's right around the corner.
Right around the corner. Yeah. And I don't think by Golf Simulator, I don't think it's going to be like Top Golf or anything, because I don't think it's actually going to go out. No. It's just going to be like a screen.
It's like the screens you hit the ball into,
but
and then
still fun.
And then it does it.
Still a fun way to go hang out with some friends, and probably a cheaper entry point than you would have to for like Top Golf or Drive Shack. So,
for sure. For sure.
Nice.
Yeah. So anyway, 2 or 3, really cool. They call this Eatertainment. That's what they're calling it. Yeah, because it's like a restaurant with
Makes total sense.
entertainment aspects to it.
Sense.
So
yeah,
I think this area needs stuff like that. If you don't have, I know I keep saying professional sports, but I mean that's a big deal. Like, you think of the cities that have, a professional baseball team or professional football team or professional NFL team. Like, I mean, those are things you do almost year round as far as like stuff to do for the city. So
this will be really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this will be cool.
We have 3 new things kind of come into the Triangle, which is exciting. And if you are just now tuning in, we are hitting different things kind of coming into the area, but we would love to know where you are watching from. So definitely let us know in the comments where you're tuning in from tonight. Last week, who was it that was the furthest? Belfast?
Yeah, it was Belfast.
Yeah.
It was Belfast.
Yeah.
but then we had someone joining from Italy.
Yeah. So I need to actually map it out.
On the live, well, Belfast is obviously not as far as Italy.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. It's true. Yeah. So we have it's so fun seeing where everybody's coming in from. So definitely let us know in the comments where you're coming from. And if you have any questions related to what we're talking about, or just Triangle general questions, feel free to shoot them in the comments.
Yeah. Throw them in the comments. All right, so the developer of Wendell Falls. So if you've watched watched our videos in the past, you're probably somewhat familiar with Wendell Falls, because it's one of the largest neighborhoods in the area. I think it is the largest currently.
Yeah,
if you're not
really
counting Chatham Park, which
Chatham Park's going to be bigger than Wendell Falls, which is just, I can't even wrap my mind around it, because Wendell Falls is so big that I'm like, I can't imagine something being even bigger than Wendell Falls.
Yeah. So the developer of Wendell Falls just bought 450 acres in Wendell. It's not going to be part of Wendell Falls. It's going to be a different neighborhood. I don't think they've named it yet.
Yeah.
But it's going to be 450 acres. And it's going to have 1,800 multifamily and single family homes.
That's pretty crazy.
Which is a ton of homes.
Yeah, that's a lot coming to Wendell. I mean, my goodness, the population there is like, within 10 years, it's going to be like quadrupled what it was before. And it's all going to be because of like mainly one big neighborhood, and now something like that. I mean, 1,800 homes is not a small neighborhood.
And it's all by the same developer. I mean, this one developer is completely changing Wendell. So to put that, to put it in perspective, the size of this community versus size of Wendell Falls. Wendell Falls is 1,100 acres and 4,000 homes. This is going to be 1,800 homes and 450 acres.
Yeah. So like a quarter of the size roughly. And it looks like it's the same developer. So if you've also been to Briar Chapel in Chapel Hill, it's the same developer that did that. Wendell Falls and Briar Chapel do definitely have a lot of similarities to them. So I imagine this is going to be maybe a smaller scale version of that. Maybe not have like the commercial element, or maybe not quite as big as a clubhouse.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm curious because, I'm just trying to wrap my mind around it from the developer standpoint, because obviously Briar Chapel's on the Chapel Hill side of the triangle, so on the west side. Wendell's on the east side of the triangle, so completely different sides. So you don't cannibalize the base that you're appealing to.
Yeah.
But if you're buying, like, I'm curious what this community is going to look like, because if you don't want it to look too much like Wendell Falls.
Exactly the same. But by the time they probably start, Wendell Falls development the residential side might be about done.
Yeah,
So it
maybe
might not be
so.
like direct competition. And I feel like all these neighborhoods look exactly the same these days. So they
Yeah.
might not really care. But it would be cool to see if it had a totally different feel to it.
Yeah.
That would be, I hope it does. Because I personally
Yeah,
don't
no,
like when
and I
everything
think
looks the same. So I
and I
hope it
think
has its own flair, but I guess
and I
we'll
think
see.
that's fair to the folks like if Wendell Falls wraps up construction and you just start a whole new
Yeah.
Wendell
No
Falls
Falls
down the
Junior.
road,
Yeah.
then it's kind of I mean, life's not fair, but it's kind of unfair to the folks who bought into Wendell Falls because
Yeah.
it's just because resale is tough when you're trying to sell a home in a neighborhood that's still being built out. And so if you're just replicating that same neighborhood down the road, it makes resale pretty challenging for the folks who are Wendell Falls.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I didn't really think about that till we actually started talking about this on the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, is it? Oh, never mind. I thought the name was here, Wendell Ridge, but yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what it comes up. I mean, this is obviously a massive neighborhood. A lot of these,
Big.
neighborhoods, like the Lennar neighborhoods that they're building up are 1,000 homes. So this is going to be. I mean, those are massive neighborhoods. So this is obviously twice that size.
Yeah. This is gonna be really big. So another big development coming to Wendell for sure.
Yeah, Wendell's. Do you remember we did a video on what cities in the Triangle were growing the fastest? Do you remember what Wendell's growth was
The population
from that video?
growth. I don't
remember it off the top of my head.
But I think in like within over, I think between 2010 and 2020, I think was the last census, or it was a year close to that. It was like the 10-year span with the census.
Yeah.
It was like 40% larger, I believe, from that video. But I could be wrong on that, so don't quote me. So I have to look back at it we did so many towns that day, and like Fuquay had grown a lot, and Wendell and Wake Forest, and so I can't quite remember exactly, but it's a lot different. Their population was tiny in 2010, and now it's like, not that it's still a pretty small town relative to like Raleigh, but it's a lot bigger than it was then.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's, when you think about a 4,000, a neighborhood with 4,000 homes in it.
Yeah. Well, I think
kind of
the population
that's
there
bringing in?
prior to Wendell Falls was only 10,000. So when you bring in a neighborhood that's half the size of the population, it's just like wild. So, and this is like, caused a ripple effect. Wendell Falls is not the only, after Wendell Falls was there, now when you drive around, you've got a lot of things kind of popping up. And Next Level had a question: how long would it take to develop a project the size of Wendell Falls? I think it's such a long project. I mean, they're still building in Wendell Falls, and they're still announcing new sections of it because there's
they've been building
a lot of residential, but there's been a lot of commercial, which is really cool. If you haven't driven out there, it's really neat to drive through.
They've been building in Wendell Falls since we started in real estate.
I want to say, according to the website, I think they like started kind of breaking down on ground on some things in 2017, 2018. A big majority of it really wasn't. I remember going to like the Parade of Homes event out there in 2019, and there were not that many houses yet. It was mostly just, there were some, but compared to like what it is now, there was hardly anything. The clubhouse was there, and they had a few of like the model homes. So it's been a while, and it's still going. I think they're going to be there for a few more years too.
Yeah. And building. I mean, when you think of, and you kind of compare it to like the Chatham Park neighborhood, I mean, according to their website, that's a multi-decade
multi-decade. And that's where Chatham Park, I want to say just the Disney section is supposed to have almost 4,000 homes.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the stats
crazy.
on that, but I think you're right.
Another video
that's just one section.
And that's just one section. So there's going to be one section that's like nearly the size of Wendell Falls. And it's already a big neighborhood. So if you drive through Chatham Park, it's pretty similar to Wendell Falls. I feel like it has a little bit of a different flair to it than Wendell Falls does. But yeah, I mean, it's going to just be massive. I mean, there's a huge business park within it, and then a lot of residential, but that community is going to have like
and to get really nuanced with it, I mean,
thousands.
All the pre-work that happens before you even break ground, the permitting, the plotting of the land, like
I mean, it is
trying
to think
years.
of like
it's years before you break ground.
That's a lot of like
it's years.
High level engineering type of stuff, and then grading and just the permitting process, water meter, stuff like that. It takes a long time because you have not only the construction team, but you've got the developer first, and the construction team, and the builders that come underneath. Because usually these neighborhoods have more than one builder in them. Like Wendell Falls has, Tri Point Homes and Garmin Homes and Homes by Dickerson.
I don't think Tri Point's there.
Sorry, not Tri Point.
Brookfield.
And
I think Mattamy was there at one point.
Yeah.
I think they're closed out.
Right.
There's a lot of builders who were there who are now closed out.
They've sold off their lots. So you have, this process with just like so many different people. And then if you have a commercial side to it, that's like a whole nother ballgame.
It is.
And then government entities, and it's just a lot.
Yeah. It's crazy. Cool. But no, I think this is exciting. So, Wendell, another massive neighborhood coming into it.
Yeah.
So I kind of went down a rabbit trail with this next one. I found out that this Monday, I think it was Monday, was Monday the 31st or was the first? No, it was the first. Monday was the first.
Yeah, Easter was
so
the 31st.
The 31st to the 1st, 9 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Saturday to Monday was
Sunday
the heaviest. Yes, Sunday to Monday was the heaviest pollen count ever recorded in the Raleigh area.
That's crazy.
And it's wild. So I made a comment to Cindy the other day where I feel like our pollen season this year has not been that bad.
Yeah, it was so funny because I think it was Friday or something. We're driving in the car and we're like, the pollen really hasn't been that bad yet. And then Sunday, it was pretty bad. And then,
but I still didn't think it was all that bad.
I felt like Monday was worse.
I still didn't think it was all that bad.
Well, Monday
but
we're getting ready for people to come over, and we were trying to blow some leaves out of our garage because it's like a wind tunnel where our garage is. And so all these leaves are blowing in and the kids were going to play in there, and we're doing it. And I don't think Zach noticed because he was like in the midst of blowing it, but it was just like a huge yellow cloud. And that's every
year.
Yeah.
And so I didn't think anything of it, but anyway, I'm going to show y'all this.
Driving through a yellow haze.
Because a lot of folks who move here have a lot of questions about what is the pollen like. So, I learned a lot today as I was going down this rabbit hole, but apparently pollen is measured by it's pollen grains
Granulars?
per cubic meter. I have no idea what any of that means.
How they measure
Yes, I don't know anything about the measurement side of this.
Because I feel like it just blows away. So I feel like it's really, I don't get how they get it to stay long enough to measure it.
So
I want to be there for this process.
Prior to the new record being set, by that unit of measurement I just said, whatever that means, it was almost 11,000. So it was 10,995. And that was in 2010.
That's wild.
This week, it hit 16,000 from 9 a.m. on March 31st to 9 a.m. on April 1st.
That's crazy.
That is a ridiculous
because I did feel like
increase.
I didn't notice it that much on Sunday.
I didn't. That's what I'm saying.
I noticed it on
either.
Monday, the following day. But I guess maybe it starts to come out and then you don't really see it until it starts accumulating in massive amounts on the car and driveway and deck and stuff like that. But yeah, Monday I
look
definitely
at this graph.
noticed it.
This is the new record up here.
Wow.
And the last one was here.
That is wild.
And this is what's kind of normal.
Yeah.
But that kind of led me down a rabbit trail because, again, I didn't really know. I feel like I'm kind of used to just the pollen here. And I know come pollen season, there's going to be pollen on the cars. You're going to walk through the grass and there's going to be pollen clouds coming up from the grass. So I don't feel like I really noticed it being significantly worse.
I don't think it felt worse. It felt like there was more on Monday than there was the rest of the spring hasn't been as noticeable.
Yeah. But the rabbit trail.
Neither of us suffer from pollen allergies.
We don't.
Yeah, yours gets a little bad in the spring. Not bad. You flare up a little in the spring, but it's not bad. So maybe if you, he always says it's just too cold. He doesn't ever want to admit it. But if you are a pollen sufferer, you can let us know if you felt like it was worse Sunday, Monday than in the last 15 years.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Well, so there was a study, and this is the rabbit hole it took me down. There was a study done last year by the what was the group? The Asthma and Allergy Foundation of America. And Raleigh was the 16th worst city in the country for allergies.
See, Raleigh's just always ranking in the top.
Always at the top. But I mean, it makes sense. Like there's a lot of pollen here this time of year. Pollen season's pretty rough if you have spring pollen allergies.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It's really tough.
And I've always heard, I don't know if this is really true, but I've always heard if you don't grow up in an area, if you grow up in an area, you kind of grow like antibodies, I think, to that type of pollen.
Yeah.
So people who
really
move to like if I grew up here, so maybe that's why it doesn't bother me, or maybe I'm just lucky. But if I were to move to like another state, that pollen might actually
it would
bother
probably
me
affect
more.
you at that
So
point.
I'm sure some people notice it a lot more than others.
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah. And it kind of breaks it down. So Raleigh was 39th for tree pollen, which I would have thought we'd been higher for that.
I would too, because it's really they always say, at least, that the yellow that you see is mainly from the pine
pines.
trees.
Yeah,
and we
that's what
just
I've always
have
heard.
so many pine trees in North Carolina.
We were 16th for grass pollen and 11th for weed pollen, which
interesting.
Yeah. Who knew?
Who knew? Yeah, I would have thought tree pollen was the higher of those.
But the places above Raleigh were Wichita, Kansas. I'm just going to name a few. I'm not going to go down the whole list. Dallas, Texas was above Raleigh.
That's really interesting.
It is. I
feel like there's not that many like trees.
I feel like there's a lot of plants in Texas.
No, when we've driven through, you can like see
it's
everything.
Like barren.
Yeah, Greenville, South Carolina. That's interesting because I feel like they're pretty similar.
But that makes sense
to us.
Yeah.
A little more mountainous. Tulsa,
so
Oklahoma.
Richmond, Virginia makes sense as well because it's just 2 hours north of here, essentially. So But yeah. So if you do have questions about pollen in North Carolina, how bad is it? Apparently this year is the worst it's ever been. And apparently we are the 16th worst city in the country.
Yeah, but then that other list just said 10.
It did, which is odd because that's where this
maybe it's some other, maybe different.
Yeah.
Seasonal, maybe seasonally we're number 9.
And that's because this is the study where we were 16th was 2023. This is the updated one, 2024. So we've gotten worse. We're worse. We've gotten worse.
Funny. Yeah. And Earl is joining in from Springfield, Massachusetts.
Yeah, awesome. Welcome, Earl. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for coming. And he said he gets through his allergies with ice green tea and natural remedies.
Nice. Very
nice.
Know.
Yeah. You got to share all the remedies with everybody.
Yeah. So anyway, I thought that was interesting. And I mean, we do get a lot of questions about pollen. So I've never really researched the pollen aspect here because I don't find it. Yeah. I don't find it all that bad, but apparently we're top 10 worst according as of 2024. So
I feel like that just means that you're going to get a lot of nice leaves and flowers.
Yeah, right? I guess so. So moving on to the final topic, we're going to cover a little bit of housing related data. So the Fed Chairman Jerome Powell met, I think it was last week at I forget the name of the conference, some conference out west, and was being interviewed. And he made the comment, I'm just going to read his quote. He said, "My expectation is I don't think rates will go back down to the very, very low levels they were before the pandemic." So I thought that was fascinating because essentially he said before the pandemic.
Which was before they even got to their
lowest. Which is before they even got to the very, very low points of the pandemic. So I think reading into that, obviously, looking at mortgage rates, what were mortgage rates pre-pandemic? Pre-pandemic, they were in the 4s, mid 4s, upper 4s, roughly.
Yeah, low 5s maybe.
Yeah, and then when the pandemic hit, that's when they dipped down into the 3s.
2 for some
people. Below 3.
Yeah, I had one friend that told me they refinanced their house for 1.7%.
Really?
Like, that's unbelievable.
They must have.
I don't know if that's true. I don't know if they bought more points to buy it down, but I'm like, wow, that's wild. That's wild.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was common. 3%. That was like everybody was getting 3%.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah, it was. But I thought it was worthy to talk about because if that is true, if even getting to the pre-pandemic levels, is not realistic, then we're in an environment where the 5s are best case scenario, right? Because I mean, right now we're upper 6s, low 7s, pretty consistently. It's where we've been really all year, which is obviously high, but it's brought stability to the market because it's remained pretty much the same all year.
It's been really stable.
But getting into the 5s, the low fives especially could be best case scenario. But I mean, when you break it down, getting into the fives, I mean that's a really healthy, it's a really healthy mortgage rate. I think.
Yeah.
I mean that's
Yeah. I
a
mean, that'd be
like
great to be
that's
fives
a
would be
rate
good.
where growth is not unsustainable, right? Because I mean this area continually gets more and more expensive, and you don't want it to be an area where in 10 years we're in a place where the average person can't afford to purchase a home anymore.
Yeah, it's already feeling like that for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I feel like
And so,
definitely don't want the
but you
rates
get
to
into that when your mortgage rates are down into the threes and the twos, and the market gets super
super
competitive and
competitive.
prices increase substantially over a very short period of time.
Right.
So getting back into the fives could be best case scenario.
Right.
And I
Right.
think that's good.
Yeah.
I think that's good for the housing
Yeah.
market.
And they
So
say they're going to drop a few more times this year. I don't think dropping into the fives is very realistic for the rest of this
no,
calendar year. So we
no,
hope that you don't
I
hear
think
us
I
saying
think
that
we'll
they're
be
going
in
to
the
get in the
sixes. Yeah, I
fives.
think we'll be in the
I think
sixes
we'll
for the
stay in
rest
the
of the year.
sixes for sure. It doesn't seem very likely to
Yeah.
be in the fives anytime soon.
Yeah. And I think too, whenever we do dip back into the fives, I do think, I don't know how sustained it's going to be. I do think there is going to be a wave of activity in the market that is going to make it so competitive.
Yeah, that you're gonna wish it was just 7 again.
Yeah, no, I mean, seriously, like
Yeah, I mean, it
I
kinda
think there will
sucks,
be a
but
wave of competitiveness that comes back into the market that is very intense. I don't think that's going to be like a long lasting wave necessarily, but I think the floodgates are going to open. A lot of folks who've been sitting on the sidelines are going to enter again. It's going to be interesting to
yeah,
see.
for
So,
sure, for
yeah,
sure.
cool. Well, that is all that we have tonight. That was probably the least housing market related stuff we've covered in a while. So it's kind of nice. It's kind of nice to talk about some of the other exciting things going on in the area. Um, yeah, but that's all we got. Go Wolfpack. I hope Wolfpack pulls it off against Purdue. I forget when they play. It's either tomorrow or
I don't
Saturday.
remember.
I can't
Yeah,
remember.
I don't
But
remember.
anyway, yeah, I'll have to look it up. But all right. Well, I hope y'all have a good rest of your week. And I hope by the time next time we talk, the Wolfpack has won.
I hope that will be really
Yeah.
cool.
All
Yeah.
right. Bye, y'all.
Bye, guys.